Hey good people, this is Ahmed Minawa from Minawa Tube, and today we're talking about how to get a tourist visa to come to Thailand. So before I give you the 4 or 5 requirements before filling the form for tourist visa, there's a disclaimer here. Tourist visa is just for tourists. So if you get a tourist visa, you're only allowed to come to Thailand for the reason of touring the country, to learn about the culture, to visit the beautiful sites, etc. But you're not allowed to work with it by any means. You're not allowed to work with that visa. If you get a job while you're on a tourist visa here in Thailand, you just have to get out of the country, get a NAMBI visa, and then make a work permit and then come back and work in Thailand. But you're not allowed to work in Thailand with the tourist visa. So the first requirement, you need to have a passport. That's very important. That passport, you have to have at least 6 month validity in it. Like your passport won't expire within the next 6 months. It will expire maybe 7, 8 months, but not within the next 6 months. Number two, you need to have proof of funds. You need to have at least in your bank account what's equivalent to 20,000 baht, which is around $650. So you need to be very careful with that. You have to show them a proof of your bank account. You have to show them a bank statement within the last 3 to 4 months. So that bank account has to have at least that money. And if you don't have that money in your bank account, or you don't have money at all in the bank account, they will ask you in most cases, especially if you're a student or something, to have somebody who is gonna pay for you your tour or pay for your trip. So you're gonna bring a statement, a bank statement, maybe from a relative or a friend, and another paper that he signs in it saying that he's gonna take care of your funds in this during the holiday. That's when it comes to proof of funds. Another point here is also having the fee for applying for the tourist visa. The fee for applying for a tourist visa, it's around 25 pounds, $30. So you can convert it to your currency, and some countries accept dollars as a payment for that, but you convert it to your currency and pay it while you're giving the form back. And also there's another point here, it's the yellow fever certificate. So some countries, especially African countries and South American countries, they are, you have to, while you're applying and also while you're coming to the country, you have to have a yellow fever certificate to enter Thailand, which means that you have a vaccine, you have taken the vaccine for yellow fever. So those are the requirements. Now let's go to the video for filling the form, and then we'll get back for me to give you the closing remarks about getting into the country after you have the visa and your passport. This is the Thai visa application form, and as you see here, it's written on it, visa application form, Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Thailand. And when you go here to the left, you will have to put a photo here with these dimensions, 3.5 and 4.5 centimeters, and you will have to attach the photo here. You can use a clip for that, or you can keep the photo in your pocket and just give it to the person working in the embassy when you hand over your form. Then you go here to the right and you would see the options of the visa that you can get. So if you're coming here for tourism, you just click here on the tourist visa or tick when you're using a pen, and number of entries. So you can use, maybe write there multiple number of entries in case you're gonna come to Thailand but you're gonna visit the neighboring country. But if you're only gonna come to Thailand and only stay in Thailand and then leave, you can just leave it as one. So before, also now here, when you want to fill your name, you can of course put your first name here, write your first name, for example, Ahmed, and then if you have a middle name, you can put a middle name. If you don't have, you can just write your last name. That it has to be exactly the way it's written in the passport. And Minawa, as you see here, in block letters as appeared in the passport, it has to be exactly as it's written in the passport, and it has to be in capital letters. So former name, if you had a former name and you're no longer using it, you have to mention it here, write it. And your nationality, you put your nationality here, and nationality at birth, in case you have two nationalities or you had a nationality and then now you have a different nationality, you have to write the first nationality you ever had. Birthplace, where were you born, and marital status, are you single, married, divorced? Yeah. So date of birth in the passport, what's your date of birth? You write it here. Type of travel document, what type of passport are you using? Ordinary passport, diplomatic, yeah, and any other kind, or any other kind. And here the number, your number of your passport, and issued at. Where is it issued? Like through an embassy in another country, or you did it in your own country. It's written in the passport. So date of issue, when was it issued, and the date of expiry, when is it gonna expire. So occupation, what's your job? Whether you're a student or whatever it is, you have to write it here. And then your current address, where do you live? Telephone number, email, and then here you have the permanent address. So if your permanent address is the same as your current address, you don't need to fill this up, but if it's different, you have to fill it up. Names, dates, and places of birth of minor children, in case your children are coming with you, so you have to write all their names, all date of birth, place of birth, everything, all the information asked for here. Then date of arrival and departure from Thailand. When are you arriving? And this has to be according to your ticket, your round ticket. So round trip ticket. So here you have to write when are you arriving in Thailand and when are you leaving, and it has to be the same as your ticket. Traveling by, what are you coming to Thailand with? Are you coming with an airplane, train? Yeah. So you choose one of those options, write it down with your pen, and then you have here the flight number. What the flight number? It's written on your ticket. The duration of proposed stay, how long you're gonna stay in Thailand. Is it a week, two, a month, two? You write it here. Date of previous visit to Thailand. If you have been to Thailand before, when did it happen? You write exactly the date you visited Thailand before, and what was the purpose of the visit. You have to take on one of this. Was it tourism, transit? If it was none of these reason other, you have to specify, for example, medical reasons, or a conference or something. Countries for which travel document is valid. Here you have the options. You can say all countries, your passport is valid for all countries, or all countries except Israel, or countries except Iraq. This is just examples. But some countries maybe might not allow you to visit Israel, or Israel might not allow your nationality to enter their country, whether with visa or without visa. Same for Iraq, same for other countries in the world. You just have to make sure of that. But 99% of the cases it will be all countries, so you can put all countries and it's gonna be good. Proposed address in Thailand. Proposed address in Thailand. Of course, when you come to Thailand, you're gonna stay in a hotel, Airbnb, or hostel or something like that. You have to write the name of the place you're gonna stay. You have to write the address. You can Google the address of the place you're gonna stay, or you can just go on Google Maps and get the full address, or you can just check the website of the place you're gonna stay and just write it down here. Sometimes they're gonna ask you to add the phone number. If that's not asked from you, you don't need to put it. It's not a must, but the must here is the address and the name of the place you're gonna stay. Name and address of local guarantor. So the name and address of local guarantor, in case you're coming from from your country, you have to write the name of a person who is staying in your country, who is related to you, and he's gonna be in a way somebody who guarantees that you're gonna come back. So you write their name, you write their phone number. Of course, you have to let them know because they might call them. So you write their name and their phone number, and here name and address of the guarantor in Thailand. So in case you're coming to Thailand but you're coming to visit someone who lives here, whether a foreigner or a Thai national, you have to write their name and of course their phone number. But if you're not coming to someone in particular, you don't need to do that. You just leave this empty and it's totally fine. Then you put here your signature and the date or when you filled up this form and you handed it over to them. And then here your signature, date, same thing. They are actually the same thing. They just here they declare some information that you have to know. And for officials only, this part you don't need to write here anything. Just leave it empty as it is. It's for the officials in the embassy to deal with it. So that's it. It's easy. It's just one page application form. You fill it up. It would take you like 10 to 15 minutes. and you just have to be careful. The information in your passport has to be reflected in the form or they won't accept it. So that's it, and let's go back to the video. So after you have got your Thai visa in your passport, now you can come to Thailand. But remember, when you're coming to Thailand, you need to have the money for you to spend in Thailand with you in cash. So you need to, they might ask you, the immigration might ask you, they tell you like, show us what are you going to spend here in Thailand, what funds you're going to spend. So you need to have at least, as I told you earlier, 20,000 baht, what's equivalent to $650 in your pocket, just in case they ask you about that. If they ask you about the itinerary, you need to also print out before coming to Thailand any itinerary. Just go online, look for an itinerary in Thailand to go to different places and print it out and show them and tell them that you're going to follow this itinerary. After that, you also need to show your yellow fever certificate in case your country or people from your nationality are required to have that yellow fever certificate with them. You need to do that, and that's it. I mean, like after that, you're good to go. Please subscribe and like if you like this video, if it was useful to you. And next video, I'm going to talk about tips of how to save money in Thailand.